Here's an operating guide for the 1.2 NM motor. Note that your blind will already be paired with the remote on installation, and the upper and lower limits will be set. However, this guide will show you how to reprogram your blind if necessary, including pairing, adjusting limits, and more. Here you can see the 1.2 NM motor, and let's take a look at some of the compatible remotes. So we have our single channel remote, the double channel remote, the 6 channel remote, and the 16 channel remote. On each of the remotes you'll find the up, stop and down buttons. And on your multi-channel remotes, you'll have the LED channel indicator with the channel buttons below. Now on the back of the remote you have the battery holder, the power button and the set button, which you'll be using during the setup process. Let's get on to setting the blind. Firstly, to factory reset the motor, we'll use a pen or similar object to press the button on the motor 5 times and hold on the 5th press until the blind jogs up and down twice. The motor is now reset. Now we can pair the remote to the motor. Choose the channel you wish to pair to, and then press and hold the button on the motor until the blind jogs once. Within 10 seconds, press up on the remote and the blind will jog once more to indicate the remote is paired. Now we have control of the blind, we'll check the motor direction. As you can see, I've pressed down and the blind is travelling up. So to change the motor direction, hold the stop button until the blind jogs. Then press down and the blind will jog again. As you can see, I pressed down and the blind is now travelling in the correct direction. Now we can set the limits. So while the blind's at the top, we'll put the motor into limit setting mode. Hold set on the back of the remote until the blind jogs, then send the blind down to the bottom. Press stop near the bottom and jog the blind into your desired position. Once happy, press and hold set, the blind will jog and the bottom limit is now set. Now we can send the blind to the top. And once again, jog the blind into the desired position. Once happy, press the set button until the blind jogs, and then press set a second time until the blind jogs again. Both bottom and upper limits are now set. The 1.2 NM motor can hold up to 4 intermediate limits. To set a mid position, send the blind to a desired position. Press set on the back of the remote and the blind will jog. Press set a second time until the blind jogs again, and the intermediate limit is now set. If you need to set a limit more accurately, you can fine-tune in jog mode. To enter jog mode, press and hold stop until the blind jogs, and tap the stop button once more. The blind will jog. As you can see, the blind now moves in fine increments. To take the blind out of jog mode, hold the stop button until the blind jogs, and press stop once again. The blind will jog and the blind will now run smoothly again. In order to delete a limit position, send the blind to the desired limit until the blind stops on its own. Press and hold set, the blind will jog, and keep the set button held until the blind jogs a second time, and the intermediate position has been deleted. In order to adjust the limit position, send the blind to the limit you want to change until it stops on its own. Press the set button until the blind jogs, and then you can move the blind up and down to adjust. Once you're happy, press set again until the blind jogs, and the bottom limit has now been changed. Finally, to unpair the remote from the motor, hold the stop button until the blind jogs, and then press the set button on the back. The blind will jog, and the blind will now be unresponsive on this remote. Now, let's have a look at some of the multi-channel settings. To operate all blinds assigned to the remote, use the channel buttons to scroll across until all numbers light up. Press up and all blinds assigned to this remote will move. To do this on the 16 channel remote, scroll across until the CC channel is selected and this will operate all blinds assigned. To reduce the amount of channels on the handset, for example you only have 3 blinds assigned instead of 6, scroll across to the number of channels you wish to limit it to. Press and hold the stop and right buttons down together until the display flashes, and the remote will only display the selected amount of channels. To unblock all channels and have access to all again, press and hold stop and right together until the display flashes again. You'll now have access to all channels on the handset. Finally, to copy and paste the blind onto another channel, select the channel you like to copy and press and hold stop. The blind will jog, and then scroll to the channel you'd like to paste it to, and press up. The blind will jog again, and will now run on channels 1 and 3. These are all the tips and tricks you'll need when operating and setting your new 1.2 Nm motor.